Thank you for looking at our videos and having interest in us. We're the Cyber Church of Christ. We'd love to hear from you. It's our interest to be saved in the end, and we want all mankind, just like our Father, to be saved in the end. That's all we teach. We just teach what the Bible says about being what the truth is and how you can be saved, and it's rights to your spirit. Last week we had a spiritual lesson. We're going to continue it this week. This week's called a spiritual account. Now, what do you mean by an account? Well, I have an account on some online services and all, and of course I have a bank account. Well, what about a spiritual account? Well, it works similar to that. You have a name that you associated with that account, and you have value in that account. And even though it's not today's sermon at the end, but what happens is you have um, the bank owner, which is our Father, a bank manager, which is our high priest and Lord. You have an account when you get in the kingdom. Names are in what's called the Book of Life, and that's one of our lessons. If you want to see Book of Life, scroll down into the YouTube lessons there, and you'll see one in the Book of Life. And then what happens is the account gets closed. All right. So let's start off with our note here. We have a spiritual account and is currently active, but will be totaled and closed at human death. So your spiritual account is located in heaven, and all accounts are reconciled at judgment. So if you don't, what happens when I go to a bank and I don't have an account there? Well, we never heard of it. We don't know you. So no, you don't get to see any value. Well, that's what happens if you don't get in the kingdom. Basically, if you want to use this same analogy, you would not have an account in heaven. We want an account in heaven, and we want to add things to our account, just like we do here on planet Earth. We're going to give an account uh, of ourselves at the judgment day. So we're going to look at those scriptures. We give an account of ourselves. So how do I know what's in my account? Well, how do you know now? In your physical account. Well, I have a ledger, and I look and see what's been put in and what's been taken out, and I read my account. All right, well, when we get to the judgment day, let's open up your account, see what you got in there. Romans 14:12. So every one of us shall give account of himself to God. Okay, so there you go. Who's going to give an account? Same as if I went to the bank and said, hey, I think I overdrafted. I have less than a zero in there. Well, then I would have to give an account, wouldn't I? Well, what happens is in the judgment day, we're going to have to give an account. Do you have anything in your account? Well, how do I get things in my account? The spiritual account you're preaching about here. How do you, what is it for currency? Well, here we got the answer here. How we add to our account is with currency, and that currency is spiritual fruit. So if you study with us, you'll find out that there's a lot of nature uh, analogies in the Bible. There's roots, uh, like limbs of a tree, and then a tree producing fruit, and then there's seeds. So spiritual fruit is how your account is managed in heaven. All right, so that's pretty interesting. Philippians 4:16 and 17. Let's look and see what that has to say. For even in Thessalonica, ye sent once and again to my necessity. All right. So you sent once and again unto my, so that's maybe more than once. Well, this actually has to do spiritually with once saved, always saved. All I did was open an account, and I never made a deposit. See, spiritually, what happens is open up an account. That means what? I called on the name of the Lord, got into the kingdom, hear, believe, repent, confess, got baptized. Now that I'm in the kingdom, I have established an account. Now, what if I just say I'm already saved and do nothing? I don't do this spiritual fruit that you're referring to. Okay, so you don't make any deposits? Okay, well, the account is zero then. Or the bank could close the account because there's nothing in it. So think about that spiritually. All right, and then verse 17 of Philippians 4, not because I desired a gift, but I desire fruit that may abound to your account. So there you see there, how do you make a spiritual deposit in your spiritual account with your spiritual name being written in heaven? Well, there's a lot of topics there, and come study that with us. It's fabulous. So, but we find out the currency here is fruit. The fruit's what's going to abound to your account. Now, let's look at this next section. If our account is worthy, we become children of the resurrection. So in other words, where our account got open, we have made an account of ourselves. And then our high priest, who's the bank manager, right, is looking at the account, then says, yes, this is viable. And what would happen is we would be saved in the end. It's just using a spiritual account because you know what a physical account is. And then when you get saved in the end, we would then be what? We would be called children of the resurrection because we were resurrected. All right, let's look at Jesus preaching in this same topic here. Luke 20, we're going to look at Luke 20, 35 and 36. And let's look at both these together here. But they which shall be accounted worthy, so there you go. There's what we're talking about our account today. And accounted worthy is a big topic in the Bible. But they which shall be called accounted worthy. In other words, you're not accounted worthy now. Why is that? Because we haven't had the judgment day. Your account's still locked up. We're not going to open your account yet. Oh, so that shall be accounted worthy to obtain that world, and that world is what? That world is heaven, where you're going to reside in forever land. And the resurrection from the dead, neither marry nor given in marriage. Okay, we'll time out here a second. But they which shall be accounted worthy. Okay, so I'll get saved in the end, and I'm going to obtain that world of being saved and got resurrected from the dead. So I was a human being at one time, died as a human being, the spirit lived on, and now the spirit has an account there. That spirit's going to give an account of itself, and we're going to be resurrected from the dead. What is this neither marry nor given in marriage? Well, in heaven, there's no gender. That's a different topic you can study with us. You have no gender. You'll hear people say, hey, a husband and wife, now they're looking down on me and all. Not in the Bible. That entertains man. I understand that. That's not in the Bible. Anyway, you're not going to be married in heaven like people are saying. Now they're married again in heaven and looking down. All that is for human entertainment. That's not, he just says right here, Jesus is teaching, you're not getting married in the hereafter. There's no marriage. Okay. Once you've been resurrected from the dead. Okay. Verse 36. Excuse me, let me get my mouse working here. Verse 36 says, neither can they die anymore, for they are equal unto the angels and are the children of God, being the children of the resurrection. So that's what we would end up being called. So yeah, okay, let me review here. So I have an account in heaven. I'm adding righteous fruit that I do here on planet Earth to my account, so I have something to say. Then I'm gonna take an account of my account in the judgment day. Then if I'm accounted worthy, I'm not going to have any kind of marriage. There's no gender in heaven. We're like the angels. We have a 7-part study on angels. Look that up. And then being the children of the resurrection. So that's what I was referring to when you're accounted worthy. And so Jesus is teaching you about he's going to be our judge and what the result would be based on what? on your account. So let's look at these last three verses, Luke 21, verses 34, 35, and 36. Luke 21, 34, and take heed, which is to have a warning, take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. Well, how did I not know the judgment day was coming? Well, I do. I'm a guy that follows the Bible. I already know there'll be a judgment day. Okay, but you know what you could do? You could leave the kingdom and get it. What is this surfeiting deal? What that's we don't use that word here. Well, I went ahead and got the definition out of the Greek, which means overindulgence or supply to excess. Okay. Well, I have a working vehicle, but I really like to have a Rolls Royce and like to overindulge in that. People would be impressed. Okay, so what you have is sufficient, but you want excess. Yeah. Okay, well, that's what this is. You got a surfeiting here, and we got a warning against that. And he says, hey, you know what? Overcharged. You got too much. Well, I'm always wanting more. I got to keep up with the Joneses. My next door neighbor has a lot more than I got. Okay, well, that's what this verse is referring to. Do you have sufficient to live here on planet Earth? Has the Father blessed you and you have a high priest in heaven? Yeah. Okay, well, why do you want all these things? Oh, okay. And besides that, I know, I don't really get drunk, so that doesn't qualify for me. No, what about lust of the flesh and lust of the eyes and pride of life? Oh yeah, well that's a whole different verse, but yeah, I just don't do this one. Okay, well, congratulations, but he's just using these as an example. Well, verse 35, Luke 21, verse 35. See, one thing is I'm not going to fall for this overcharge business that you mentioned in 34. Verse 35, for as a snare shall it come. Are you talking about this overcharging things? Yeah. It shall come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Oh, well, I said it wasn't going to affect me. Okay. Where is it you live? I live on planet Earth. Okay, well, here's a verse for you. For as a snare, what is that, some kind of trap? Yeah. Once you come study with us, you'll find out that's Satan's job. What he does is devise devices. There's snares to do what? What does the snare do? It traps you. And who is it that's going to fall for this now? Because, I'm not going to fall for it. All them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Oh, well, that would include me. Yeah, wouldn't it though? Yeah. No, so don't think you're above the spiritual realm that none of this applies to you. You got Satan out there that's not wanting you to be saved. And what's he going to do about it? Well, he's going to create this snare. You just said he got a snare waiting. You just said you wanted a Rolls Royce, right? Well, that come from Satan. Oh, okay. And the last verse of the day, well, we have a commandment here to watch. Watch therefore and pray always. There's two commandments, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. Okay, so how am I going to get out of this snare thing you mentioned? Well, he gives you the answer. He tells you, hey, Satan's out there. He's going to trap you. And then here's how to get out of the trap. Okay, how? Pray always, because you want to be accounted worthy in the end, right? So that's all Satan's after, is for you not to have an account, not to be accounted worthy. So whatever that takes. Okay, well, what we want you to do is to watch for the snare, pray. That means you're going to get help from above. Father's greater than Satan, huh? Yes. So go to who's more powerful than Satan. May be accounted worthy, and there's your escape. What is it I want to do if I get into a snare? I want to escape. Okay, well, there it is. You mentioned snare in that verse, escape in this verse, and that shall come to pass. Okay, well, I'm a Christian guy. I'm going to avoid all that. No, actually, you're not. Oh, there's going to be snares prepared. You're going to need to watch out for this trap, and then you're going to pray and you're going to escape. So that's how you do it here on planet Earth. Then when you get judged in the end, you want what? You want to be accounted worthy. All right. So anyway, this has like 10 topics in it. Okay. But I just wanted to point out you got a spiritual account because it's easy to understand accounts. I have a bank account. So your spiritual account is in heaven and you have somebody managing your account. What you need to do is produce righteous fruit. Keep adding to your account. Now I got something to say at the judgment day. Are we going to have to take an account for ourselves? That's how you started off the lesson? Yes. All right, so think about that. Take this lesson, think about it, let it churn there, and go, wow, do I even have an account in heaven? And if so, what's on it? What can I do to add to it? I'm sure want it to remain there. I got to look out for a trap. The trap is because Satan knows I have an account in heaven. He does not. He's already been judged. So the fact is, he's wanting to trap me. And what I want to do is escape. And the way I'm going to do that is pray and produce righteous fruit. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. We're the Cyber Church of Christ. You can always get a hold of us here in this email and have any questions, or you can make comments in the bottom of the YouTube there. We'll see it and we'll respond. But we'd love to have you join us in person. We have a midweek Bible study, and we have, just like today, our normal worship service on the first day of the week. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. Watch out for the snare and make sure that you add to your spiritual account. If you don't have one, contact Cyber Church of Christ. We'll tell you how to get in it. We don't set up the account. There's someone that's called Son of Man that sets up your account. And you know what? When he opens that account, I want to be able to stand there. Yes. So anyway, hope you have a great day and a great week, and you'll check us out. We're the Cyber Church of Christ.